This is the Two Guys Take Podcast. Gaming, music, and more with your hosts, Mike and Adam.
And we're rolling.
Oh, baby. Coming in hot. I didn't even see the countdown. I didn't even see the countdown.
I knew I was going to sneak up on you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It totally snuck up on me. How's it going there? Is this
I don't
2
have
weeks
any,
in a row? Ooh.
I don't have any
3 weeks in a row?
complaints. Might be three. No, it's two.
Two. I think it's two.
It's two. Yes, it's two. Because it's 2 weeks in my current setup.
Gotcha.
And this has been going on for 3 weeks now. And I know that we skipped a week because of this.
Hopefully it'll be done soon.
Yes. I'm hoping to have it done hopefully this weekend.
Nice.
We shall see.
We shall see. Crazy busy week for me. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we have like every year there's a state like music festival where the kids have to prepare solos and they go to get adjudicated, and then that could lead them to get into all county groups and stuff like that. Anyway, it's every 4 years it rotates through the districts, and this year it's being held in my building. So that's tomorrow and Wednesday after school. So it's gonna be a little crazy around here, and then we have our spring concert on Thursday. So
yikes!
And then we're going on a field trip competition to Great Adventure on Saturday. So
this is the job that you took to have less of a workload,
to have less responsibilities, and but I mean, it's 1 week. What is it? 1 week, 2 weeks out of the year? Yeah. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal, but it's gonna be busy. It's gonna be busy. So I will probably not be gaming at all this week, at all. And
I don't know. I don't know how much I'll get in this week too. Got a lot of baseball, a lot of kids baseball on the schedule this week.
Nice. Baseball season is the best.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
That's a lot. My son used to play
because it rains so much.
Oh, the worst. My son used to play travel, so it was like, whew, man, those games. There was games like, same thing, 2-3 games a week on the weekend, and then you had to travel distances and stuff like that.
I'm hoping that the interest is lost before we get there. Because I'm like, I got to drive 20 minutes down the road on Wednesday for that game, and I'm like, that's too far.
It's too much. What do you mean it's not in the backyard? Do you mean what do you mean?
It's not even 20 minutes. It's like 14.
That's not that bad. That's not bad. Sometimes we had like games that were like an hour away, so that was a big drag. But anyway, so that's it. My question to you is, Carmel?
Are you asking me how I pronounce it?
Yeah.
I'm non-biased. I'll say either one.
Yeah, but Carmel's not right.
I will throw both of them out in the same conversation just to fuck with people.
But Carmel's a city.
Okay, well,
Carmel.
You're right. Caramel is the proper way to say it.
Caramel.
But who wants to say that? Caramel sounds so much better.
Caramel.
When you say
caramel?
Caramel apple sounds much less appealing than a caramel apple. Just because of somebody somewhere mispronounced it.
Was too lazy.
And it became a thing. That's half of the English language is just laziness.
I understand that, but like you can't be just throwing away the vowels. I mean, go on. Well, just chuck it out of the way. How you can't say caramel. You can't caramel.
After this podcast, Mike is just going to be stuck on a continuous loop of saying caramel.
Caramel. It's not a caramel apple. It's a caramel apple.
I could argue that it's the same fucking thing.
No, it's not. It totally is not.
But it is because that's what we know it as.
No, it's impossible. Listen, I'm telling you right now. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look this up. Ready? Here. This is Google pronunciation. You ready?
Hold on. Let's just drop the sound effect now because this is all going to be useless information. I guarantee
Here we
it.
Go.
Caramel.
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 Caramel. I don't trust the robot.
Yeah, but it's like caramel.
Caramel.
See?
Yeah, but I mean, okay.
Caramel.
Okay, but wait, what's going? Oh, so now I'm gonna change it to how people say it. It's not going to show it, is it? No, it's not going to. It's not going to show it. It's not going to show caramel. I mean, but you're dropping out a whole syllable. You can't. It just is.
It does confuse the situation. Like if you were to say, "Hey, you're telling somebody to get you a caramel apple from the store, and you're writing it down for them,
caramel apple,
and you're not used to saying caramel, how are you going to spell that?" I think that this world has a very big problem with people who don't know how to spell very well.
Well, and no one really knows how to spell anymore. I mean, my spelling has declined ever since the whole, with your phone autocorrect crap.
I feel like the one constant throughout my schooling as a child was that you spell stuff right. It's like spelling was like a big thing. I don't know why.
Yeah, absolutely. Spelling test. Oh yeah.
So like I took that with me in life. I'm an excellent speller. I can't really prove that to you, but I mean, we're not gonna sit here and have the two guys take spelling bee, but I'm a very, very good speller. I mean,
omnipotent.
Okay, for the words in my vocabulary, omnipotent. I am omnipotent. Either way, it irritates me though when you go into like Twitter and you just see things riddled with spelling errors.
Oh,
because to me, it's like this person doesn't care enough about what people are seeing them post that they're just gonna like be jabbering off nonsense because they don't spell things right. They don't have proper grammar.
Oh, I was going to say grammar too. Forget the grammar.
Like it's just more irritating to read stuff like that or try. Like I don't want to have to try to decipher your hieroglyphics.
I agree.
If you're gonna post something, and I'm not talking about just people. Like there's like businesses whose social media managers will be horrible at spelling and grammar, and it's like, how is that not a job requirement?
It's a worldwide epidemic. It's terrible.
Yeah,
and I agree. I agree.
And this is coming from a self-proclaimed moron. Okay, so. Get your shit together, people.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if you're saying
spell, you all have no excuse.
If you say the word correctly, you can't misspell it. Caramel, caramel. No, it's not.
But
caramel.
Nobody says the word correctly.
Well, maybe we should start. I would start.
I feel like we have bigger problems in the world.
You're right, but this is the two guys' take, and we don't go down that route.
When we started. Damn it. Caramel. Where do we end?
What do you mean?
I'm sure we could think of 100 words that are supposed to be pronounced one way and the whole world pronounces them a different way.
Probably. I mean, I would have to think about that for a second.
Like caramel candies.
It's not caramel candy. It's not. It's caramel.
I'm
going to go get a bag of caramels. Caramels. But it's not Carmel. That is a city. Carmel is a city.
Where? It's
in many states, but it's a city.
Okay, well, okay.
Carmel, Carmel.
Okay. There's also a city called Monterey, but it's also a cheese. Your argument about it being a city makes no sense because there are a lot of cities that are named after things or things that are named after cities.
But I'm saying the spelling is Carmel, caramel, Caramel, caramel.
Champagne. You can't pronounce it that way because it's a fucking city.
Champagne.
Fix yourself. It's a city. No, your argument's invalid.
No, it's not invalid because if the city was Carmel and it was Caramel, then it's a different story.
Well, how do you know there's not a city named Carmel?
There's not,
but spelled caramel.
It's caramel. I'm telling you.
I mean, I'm a fan of less syllables, So I'm going to say Carmel.
You're just gonna just go right into it. Carmel.
I'm not.
Carmel.
I was unbiased before. Now I'll never say caramel again after just now. So
I have an even a
you
bigger
did this to
question.
me.
Well,
Okay,
listen, this is what I do. This is what I do.
I'm all ears.
The supernatural.
Like the show or like the supernatural?
No, like the supernatural, not the show.
Okay,
What are your thoughts? Do you believe that
it's a
there's
very broad
some
question.
sort of supernatural
Yes,
being? You do.
being at like
Well, something supernatural, something ghosts, maybe,
yes.
or you do
I have experienced some sort of supernatural things in my life, and
really anything like move like that was. I have one thing though too. But go ahead, you go.
I've had an entire friend move. Like,
Wait, what do you mean?
uh, there was a situation where there's this haunted house, like down the street.
Mhm.
And whenever we were younger, me and a couple friends go into this house because one night we're walking down the alley. This house was like condemned, like no one
Okay,
lived
so
in this house.
it's not like a haunted house for like Halloween. This is like a condemned house that you
This is
call the haunted house.
everyone, everyone in town, like that's the haunted
Right.
house in
That's the
town,
haunted house. Okay,
like,
right. I got you.
one night we're walking down the alley behind this house, and there's we see plain as day a television on in the one room in the house. And
Television.
a television on, like we can see it through the window.
Mhm.
We see a television, okay, which in hindsight was probably a reflection from someone else's window or something.
Okay.
Obviously, well, maybe not. Maybe it was an apparition.
Ooh.
So the next day, we go into the house because amateur ghost hunters. Just because we were curious and much more brave back in those days.
Right.
So we go up to the room that we figured was the room that we saw from outside.
So you're
the
in
TV
this
was
house right now.
We're in the house because
You go up the stairs.
we had to break through a door in the basement, which was like commonplace because people used to like party in this house and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because it was an empty house. No one ever paid any attention to it. So I think it's since been torn down. But either way, we break into the house. We have to go
Mhm.
upstairs into the first floor. And this house is empty, like completely empty.
Nothing in it at all.
Nothing, not a single thing. But in
Okay.
this room that we figured that we saw the TV in, we end up in that room. And there's another door to go up to the attic of the house. And at that point, I'm like, no matter how you slice it, attics can be creepy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm done with this tour. I'm going to bounce.
Yeah.
But my
I
one
would
friend,
be.
is like, I'm not done. I'm going up. So he walks into the doorway, and like, I don't know how much of this was embellishment, how much of it was real, but like, I do believe in this sort of thing. So, he is standing in this doorway and just stops and like looks terrified. And then, like, no joke, his shirt starts to move. Like he's
Come
standing
on.
frozen still, and his shirt starts to move. And then he like falls out of the doorway. And then he, without even saying anything, he just takes off. There's like a railing to go like in the hallway. He over the railing into the middle of the staircase, out the house. So obviously we followed him.
Right.
And that was the most like questionable experience I've ever had. He could have been pulling our leg. He didn't seem like it because he was pretty shaken up after that. But
Yeah, when you said his shirt move, I was starting to get the chills. I was like,
I like his shirt got pulled up a little bit on like his left side, and like
no,
he could have like it was a tight doorway. He could have snagged it on something. Who knows? I like to stay optimistic, and any way it can be debunked, sure, I will keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
But in that moment, that was real, and it was terrifying. I just had like, there's the one thing that always makes me feel like leads me to I believe this is just the feeling you get when you go into places like this.
Right.
You just feel uneasy and kind of creeped out.
Yeah.
And it's like it just hits you. And a lot of it, I'm sure, is mental, yeah. But
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say a lot
some
of it's
of it,
got to be
just like
mental and the
some of it,
darkness and the
just it's yeah, there's weird
when you
energy.
don't know when you can't see what's going on, that's when your mind starts to like wander and totally start playing tricks on you. I mean, you'd be surprised at what you could conjure up. You know what I mean?
I
With
don't immediately convince myself that something is supernatural.
Mhm.
I immediately tell myself, you know, there's an explanation for this. In my head,
Right,
it's like due process of my own thought. I have to know for sure that that wasn't a natural occurrence,
right.
some happenstance situation. But then at the same time, like a lot of, you know, coincidental things happen
Mhm.
in creepy places like that. So
Right.
it kind of takes it away from coincidence at certain
Mhm.
points.
So the day camp that I used to work at, there were always rumors that so there's this it's on it's in a rural area, and it's got like it's actually Rockefeller Rockefeller students this is his mansion. So the main house is this mansion, and then it sprawls into like 9 acres of grounds and all this other stuff. So um that was always said that there was some sort of that the attic area. Of course, it's always an attic area, right?
I accidentally unmuted your mic for some reason, and I can't unmute it. So you're gonna have to click the button. Mike.
Oh, you muted me.
I don't know why. I don't.
Oh,
I
do
actually
I
I was
have to?
trying
So was that whole thing muted? I guess.
just for a second.
Oh, okay.
Start your
Okay.
story over
So
anyway.
yeah, so I was saying the camp, the day camp that I worked at, though the main house, the main grounds was said to be haunted. So we used to go back there at night and kind of like mess around and whatnot, but we would never ever go up to the main house. We would always be on the lower level where there were like basketball courts and there's a pool there. But there was one time we did go up to the top.
Now, are you a student or a teacher at this?
No, I'm a teacher at this point. I'm a
Okay.
teacher. We're adults. We're adults. We went back there, and we go up into the main house, and like at night, nothing is everything is still, and you're walking around, and you're like I said, your mind starts playing tricks on you. But we went up onto this.
Especially like in the woods.
Yeah, well, it's not. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a wooded area, and there's this big lunch patio that we used to sit on, and somebody went in. They raided the kitchen, whatever, to try to get some food for us to eat. And we're sitting out on the patio and we're eating, and then of course you start hearing like these like weird like creaks that are like coming from like the top like balcony that was on this building.
Ugh.
And then you hear like the windows do like a quick shutter open and closed. And let me tell you, I mean, I don't know if it was, of course it could be wind, but it was like the weirdest thing. It wasn't like it was totally out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck? So we threw up all the freaking food that we had there. We bolt downstairs and we ran away. Oh my, it was crazy. Never again will we do that.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah. I remember one time at my grandma's old house, me and my brother were sleeping there, and in the middle of the night, I heard a piano playing,
Yeah, dude. See, I can't, no.
and I just was like, I said to my grandma the next day, I was like, who was playing the piano last night? And then she kindly reminded me that the piano had been moved to our house about 2 years prior to that. So there was no piano in the house,
Yeah.
but I heard somebody
But
playing
again,
it.
it could be a dream, right? Was it
Exactly. I could have been like
like a
like one
lucid
of those
dream? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
waking dreams,
Yeah, and those
where you're
waking
like
dreams,
half
right, right.
asleep.
Yes.
Like I've had like weird things where I've heard like people talking in my ear, but
Mhm.
like I know I'm asleep, but like
Right,
I'm half asleep, half awake, and it would
right.
creep me out. Like I know
Yeah.
that stuff's like um I got a funny, creepy camping story.
I have a camping one too.
We used to go to this, me and my dad, my brother, and then two of our friends and their dad would always go on this yearly camping trip to this one campground, and they had a video arcade there. So like every night we would walk up to the video arcade, play some games, and then go back to our campsite and hang out. And it was, always pitch black.
Right.
So we're going back from the arcade the one night, and we're, I don't know, halfway back. My dad forgets something. He runs back to the arcade, and we're all walking back, and I just start to hear this like branches cracking in the woods beside us. It's like
Like
heavily
someone's like
wooded,
stepping on them.
like someone's stalking us.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And I keep like looking over to my left, and it would stop. And mind you, I'm probably 8, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, still, I'm like, I grew up pretty much in the woods. Things are running around all the time. So
Right.
I don't really pay much mind to it. But then it just keeps following us, this creaking, this like sticks breaking. And I start to get freaked out. I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it, even though. So then, like at the one part, there's this big turn, and like the woods are like the tree line gets like further away from you.
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't hear anything anymore. But just like just naturally, because I had been hearing things as we're making this turn, I look to the left and I just see this something running straight at me with this like crazy hairy face and all like, and I go running, terrified, screaming. I don't know where I ran to. I can't remember that much of it. But this thing just kept chasing me,
What?
screaming at like, ah, and like everybody's running, panicking, and like I'm just like, where's my dad? Where's my dad? Like crying, freaking out. And then my dad pulls the mask off.
Oh. Oh my God! Way to freaking
So he didn't
traumatize your
he didn't
kids,
he
man.
didn't he didn't forget anything at the arcade. He circled up into the woods,
He
put his
circled up in
mask
the
on,
with the mat. Oh my God, dude! I
and
would
then
have freaking.
stalked us the whole way back. No one knew he was doing it, so he scared the shit out of everybody.
Oh, I'm sure.
But everybody was laughing at me because I was like bolted, screaming
Right,
and
right,
crying
right.
because I was like, in my head, this thing ate my dad already, and it was coming for me.
Right, right. Oh man, mine is somewhat similar, but not to the extent of this person dressed up and chasing somebody. So again, it goes back to our camp time. So we take the kids away for like a 2-day overnight, and
Okay,
we take them to this place called Club Getaway. It's in Kent, Connecticut, and it's in the mountains. So you go there, you pull in, and they have like they have all these cabins that are on the grounds. So there's different sets of them, and we would always get the first set. So as you would pull into the to the camp on the right hand side, there's this big trapeze there, and then there was these camp bunks. So we would always play pranks on the kids, and at night,
naturally.
naturally, of course, we got to scare the crap out of them. And so we befriended the staff there, and we're like, because they're assigned to us, to do all the events and stuff like that during the day and at night. So we tell the guys, we're like, listen, we want to scare our kids. Can you get us some stuff? He's like, yeah, come down, meet us down. We'll go to the prop closet. All right, cool. So we go down and we get like this like horse's head, like this huge horse's head, and we get this costume. I forget what it was. I don't remember if it was like a Frankenstein. It was something like weird, outlandish. So we get this costume and we bring it back to our bunk, just put it in there, right? And we take it and we put it underneath one of the beds. So imagine, picture this: you walk up to the bunk, to the cabin. To the right is the guys' cabin, the adults. To the left is the girls' cabin, the adults. And there's 8 of us in each one of those cabins.
Okay.
Okay, it's how big it is. It's a big cabin. So we walk in, we put the outfit with the mask. There was a mask. I forget what it was. It was some scary mask. underneath the bed, so none of the kids would find it, right? And we all leave the room, but we were kind of hanging out in front of the cabin while the kids were like doing their things, right? So so and like it was like one or two of us that put the stuff in the room. So we're hanging out, we're doing stuff. Maybe like 15 minutes go by. I don't remember. Now, mind you, nobody's going in and out of the room. We're not doing anything. And we go back. My friend and I will walk into the room, and the mask and the costume that we put under the bed was now on top of the bed we put it on, neatly folded in like this, spot on the bed, but we didn't put it there. Like nobody went into the room, and we were like freaking out. We're like, who the hell went in there? It was the weirdest thing ever. We purposely put it underneath so we would hide it. So for any kids would they would come to the door and be like, hey, we need this or whatever. If we were in the room, we have, but we wanted to hide it. But nobody was in that room. Nobody went in and out of that room. And we come back, and there was the costume was laid out on the bed. Like, we know you have it. You're not going to scare us. But
Yeah,
no adult and no kid was in that room.
So somebody unlocked the window, opened it up, went in, did that, went back out the window.
Definitely not. There's no way. Because the windows were they were just like screens. You know what I mean? Like one of those shutter windows like this, where it just like flips up. You couldn't get in. There's screens there.
Oh, you can get in.
No, I'm telling you, you can't get in. It was like one of those. It wasn't like a screen where you could lift it up.
So it was the ghost of the old cleaning lady. And she was like, "No, you can't have this."
There was no cleaning lady.
Back in the day.
It was weird.
Yeah, that is.
It was definitely freaky.
Weird things happen.
Weird things do happen.
Bizarre. You just got to take them in stride.
Yeah. I don't like the nighttime. The nighttime's always the worst, man, for anything.
Well, your head plays tricks on you in the dark.
It totally does. It totally does. I agree.
Like there's a lot of people really. that you turn their lights off in their house and they think they're in a completely different world. It's right. Like you're just in your house. It's the same place. It's just dark.
Yeah. Then your mind goes elsewhere.
Sure does.
And the serial killer is behind the door of your closet.
The worst thing though is lost in the dark in the woods. That is not a fun time.
No, I wouldn't want to.
I was just like lost I quickly found my way out. But I could see exactly how that could drive you crazy, because it is a terrifying situation, because you just don't know, you just feel like, you go in the wrong direction and you're just going deeper into the woods.
Right.
And like where I live, you go deeper into the woods, good luck.
You ain't coming out.
There is a lot of forest land where I live. Mm-hmm. But the scarier part for me is like, not only is it a lot of wooded areas, but there's a lot of you'll be just walking, and if you're not on a path, there's just a cliff. Oh. Because I mean, we live in the Appalachians. There's some rough terrain somewhere in some of these parts.
Yeah, I would not want to be lost in the woods.
We used to go geocaching. Do you know what geocaching is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we used to be real big into it. Had the handheld GPS units and everything, and really? Full gear packs, and we would go on like a deep woods hike to find some serious hard caches.
Okay.
Well, one time, we got out of the car and started on our journey into the deep woods, and I forgot to set the point at the car with the GPS before we left.
Oh, jeez.
So in my head, I'm like, let's turn off this trail right here. We'll be fine, because once we get lost, we'll just hit the GPS and we'll be fine. I was wrong. We got turned around, mixed up. and luckily it was broad daylight, so we eventually
okay.
found our way
I was
back.
gonna
But
say, yeah, okay.
we found our way to a road that eventually brought us to where we needed to be. But like I had
Still
just
a
bought,
loss.
I had just bought this new pair of hiking pants, and there was a down tree in the middle of where we were walking. So I like step up to go over the tree, and it just splits from my crotch down to
Oh,
down to my knee on my inner right thigh. So not only did I ruin my brand new pants, but like we're in the thick woods, so like everything was slicing my thigh.
oh man,
Yeah,
that's the worst.
it was a situation.
I was gonna say that seems like a miserable situation.
Don't get lost in the woods with ripped up pants.
Or at night
Well, yeah, we
in the
just
dark without a
don't get
flashlight.
lost in the woods in general.
Yeah, no,
Bring
no dice. See, I'm not doing that stuff though. I'm not doing that. I'm not going into the woods at night
Well, no, but
by
sometimes
myself.
you end
Or
up in the woods at
even if
night.
I wasn't by myself, I'm not going into the woods at
Well,
night.
no, don't do that shit by yourself. Regardless, always take a buddy.
I'm taking a caravan with me of people.
I wouldn't like to walk from the grocery store to my car at night if it was late enough. Although we're talking Walmart, not a grocery store. That's an even scarier situation. You don't even want to be inside Walmart late at night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, scary things, man.
Scary
And
stuff.
I mean, but but is there really is it really a thing? Is it, or is it again our minds playing tricks on us where we're not sure where if it's real or if it's not?
I go back and forth.
Yeah. I
Certain
mean,
experiences I've had, they make me think that it's totally there, and
right.
I hope it is for our sake. After
Right.
I hope I can just screw with people after I'm gone.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of it feels like your brain's playing tricks on you, and you're looking at just coincidences around
Right.
you and
Yeah.
making them be something they're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Tell us what you think, guys.
there's got to
Is
be
it real?
something.
Is it hokum, as the scientists say?
Right.
I don't
Or
know
have
any
you ever
scientists.
experienced anything like that?
Yeah, tell us your experiences. Let's hear from you. I had to get one in.
On that note,
All right, on that note, guys, that's episode 36.
36 in the bag.
There's 35 more episodes for you to listen to if this is the first one you've heard. And hey, we'll be back next week with episode 37, which is one of my favorite numbers.
Is it?
Yeah,
You're gonna have to tell us why.
I will. Next episode.
Excellent.
All right.
Awesome.
See you guys.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next one. Peace.